Bankastjórar og bankastjórnir báru ábyrgð á því hvernig fór fyrir bönkunum og get ekki skorist undan þeirri ábyrgð. Þetta segir Mats Jósefsson, formaður nefndar endurreisn fjármálakerfisins. Hann segir bankana þurfa að venjast gjörbreyttu umhverfi og ríkið þurfi að koma með ákveðnari hætti að rekstri þeirra.
Nefnd endurreisn fjármálakerfisins kynnti skýrslu sína á fundi með blaðamönnum í Þjóðmenningarhúsinu í morgun. Formaður hennar Mats Jósefsson, sænskur bankasérfræðingur sem ráðinn var til starfa síðastliðið haust. Hann segir það einstakt við stöðuna á Íslandi að allt bankakerfið hrundi og það þarf að endurreisa. Erfitt sé að meta kostnað en eitt sé víst, hann verður mikill. Jósefsson segir of snemmt að segja til hvort bönkunum verði fækkað en ljóst sé að ríkið verði að koma með ákveðnari hætti að rekstri þeirra. Hann segir stjórnvöld fram til þessa hafa haldið sér of til hlés gagnvart bönkunum en hann segist telja að það sé nú að breytast.
That all the commercial decisions in the banks were done by the bank managers and by the boards. That's why it is my view that no bank can walk away from that responsibility. They may want to put the blame on someone else. It could be the auditors, it could be the supervisory agency, it could be the government, it could be just anyone. But in my view, that's not an excuse for them to walk away from their responsibility. In the end, they always have and will have the ultimate responsibility. It's also very important for the bankers to realize the new environment and also to realize it's no longer business as usual. It has to be a break compared to what happened in the past.
Nánar verður rætt við Mats Jósefsson í Kastljósi strax að loknum fréttum.
Íslenskt efnahagslíf fer að sækja sig veðrið á ný, fyrr og hraðar en menn búast við, segir Mats Jósefsson, formaður nefndar endurreisn fjármálakerfisins, að því gefnu að yfirvöld fylgi starfsáætlun nefndarinnar sem kynnt var í dag. Hennar hefur verið beðið með nokkur eftirvæntingu enda fátt mikilvægara fyrir íslenskt efnahagslíf en að koma hálflömuðum ríkisbönkunum í það horf að þeir geti farið að veita almenna þjónustu. Formaðurinn Mats Jósefsson hefur unnið fyrir bæði Seðlabanka og fjármálaeftirlit Svíþjóðar og við endurskipulagningu bankakerfisins í bæði Tælandi og Tyrklandi og við heyrum í honum eftir augnablik. En við skulum byrja á að heyra í Mats Jósefsson sem bjartsýnn á upprisu efnahagslífsins á Íslandi en Þóra Arnórsdóttir ræddi við hann í dag.
Welcome, Mats Jósefsson.
Thank you.
Now, we're both used to talk about these issues in English rather than Scandinavian, so I'm going to stick to that language, if that's okay. Now, you published the first strategy note today describing the recommendation of the Coordination Committee. Would you first explain to us shortly what your mandate is and if you expect the government to follow all the recommendations?
I'm chairing a committee, the name is Coordination Committee, which consists of members for all ministries and other government bodies that are involved in dealing with banking issues. Our mandate is to make recommendations to other ministries or to FME or anyone involved, how they should deal with certain actions. It's just a recommendation. It's not a decision-making committee. We take minutes, and if anyone has a different view, it will be recorded in the minutes. And the minutes are circulated among the parties, so everyone knows exactly what is the view of the committee. And so far, it has worked very well.
And the government actually has accepted your plan as its plan, so
yes.
You're expecting it to be implemented.
Well, the note that we presented today was adopted by the cabinet yesterday.
So, just to start, we have maybe in practice 6 banks. The 3 old ones, Glitnir, Landsbanken, Kaupthing, and the 3 new ones. What needs to be done to get the new ones up and running again so they can start servicing the corporate sector, which is in dire straits at the moment?
Well, they have not been capitalized yet. So it's a valuation process going on. I'm talking about the new banks, or those that we call actually the state banks.
Right.
They are being valued independently. And then when the valuation is completed, they will be capitalized. The government will put in the capital. And up to that date, we also expect the banks to be operationally restructured, that they look at their business, what are the staffing needs, what kind of branch network do they need, so they are fully in shape the day when they receive the capital, so they can start acting as a traditional bank.
How long will this valuation take? People are a bit losing the patience.
It's supposed to be done by end March, and we have no indication that it will not be done by that date. That's a commitment to the IMF.
And you say, you talk about cut downs, you say that they have to cut down costs. What are we talking about there? Less staff, fewer branches?
Well, the bank have downsized quite a lot when they were split into the new bank and the old bank. I think there is more to do. I think the costume still is too big for all of the three banks. How much? I don't know, because I've not looked into that, looked so much into detail exactly what they're doing. But the impression is that they need to do a further downsizing of their activities.
How much is this going to cost?
It's up in the air. We won't know until the valuation is completed. I'm also a bit worried today because I haven't seen a profit and loss statement, a recent one. I don't know to what extent the banks are building up a deficit. We know that a number of the loans do not generate any revenues anymore. We also know that they have to pay the funding cost for those loans, even if they don't generate an income. They also have to pay the administrative costs. So there is a possibility that the banks are being operated at a deficit that in the end will have to be covered by the government.
But can you give us any idea of how much this would cost in terms of, just in crowns?
Well, I mean, if you look at the letter of intent, which was the last time I saw an estimate, the capital needs was 385 billion Icelandic kroner. I don't think it's going to be less. It's going to be more. How much? I don't know.
Okay. Then about this AMC idea, can you explain to us how this asset management is supposed to work?
Well, there are two things we want to achieve. We want to get the banks up and running as a traditional bank, servicing their customers, lending, providing working capital to the corporate sector, and also loans, of course, to the households. Today, there's very limited lending going on. For the banks to lend, the experience is that as long as they have a huge portfolio of non-performing loans or loans that do not perform, they are not willing to lend. That's the experience from many countries in which banks have had problems.
And that's happening here now, isn't it?
I think it's happening here too. And I think that's a lot of complaint also being made from the corporate sector, that they cannot get loans, they cannot get working capital. Then we have the deterioration in the corporate sector. Yeah, it's gone much faster than we originally thought. And you don't have to be an economist or you don't have to be an expert to see it. If you walk on the streets of Reykjavik, you can easily see that the economy is going down.
Numbers tell us that from 33% up to 60% of companies outside of the financial sectors are technically bankrupt.
Yeah, that's alarming. It's very alarming. And something needs to be done. And that's why we are saying that the only ones that can do it is the government. It has, because a process of restructuring the corporate sector has to be done in a transparent way, it has to be consistent, and it has to be uniform. The outcome of the restructuring cannot depend on in which bank you have been the customer. It has to be the same wherever you are. And to ensure consistency, our view is that it should be done through a centralized asset management company.
And how would that work? How is it actually established, and how does it choose which companies are viable, which companies to sell, which ones to run?
Well, our view is that the government cannot take on all the responsibilities. There has to be some priorities. So that's we are talking about the biggest companies that are strategically important to the Icelandic economy. We have asked the banks for a list of the 15 biggest exposures that they have towards Icelandic customers.
So these would be the 45 biggest companies?
Well, in total it would be the 15.
In total 15?
Yeah,
so
exactly. I don't know that much about the companies, but I assume or I expect my Icelandic colleagues that they will look at the list and then they will make the priorities. Then what will happen is that the banks will be asked to transfer those loans to the asset management company. And in exchange, they would get securities issued by the asset management company that would replace the loan in the balance sheet of the banks. So instead of having an assets that do not generate any revenues, they will have a bond issued and guaranteed by the state. It will be issued by the AMC but guaranteed by the state. That will generate an income flow also to the bank. And then in the AMC, the asset management company, we plan to bring in experts that know how to do both financial and operational restructuring. Financial restructuring means that you deal with the debt, you deal with the loans, and you try to reschedule, extend maturities, if you can change the interest, and things like that. Operational restructuring means that you look at the operations of the company. Are there certain activities that can be winded down and closed? Can they merge a part of the company with another company to create a new viable company? That's what means by operational restructuring. And our experience is that this is going to work because we are not...
this is something that has been done in other countries, right?
Yes, it has been done over and over in many countries. And we are not inventing the wheel. That's very important to say. This has been tried and it has worked if it has been properly managed and properly set up. Then it has worked, and that's our intention here too. It will work.
Would this also be a way to avoid the politicization of the banks?
Well, we have also said that the government is now the owner of the banks. The whole banking system actually was nationalized when they collapsed in October. So whether the government wanted it or not, the government is the owner. And being the owner also means that you have certain responsibilities. We have proposed to the government to set up a holding company within the Ministry of Finance that would actually act as an owner on behalf of the government. Because we also want to keep the ownership issues as far away as possible from the political life or the political process.
But then you've also said that the government hasn't actually been acting as the owner, hasn't been doing what it should be doing.
Yeah, but then when I talk about the government being the owner, it's basically what that holding company is supposed to do, because they would act on behalf of the government. And there you could also bring in professionals that would know exactly how to manage and how to operate the bank, and that could also provide guidance to the banks. What is it that they should be doing? How do they adjust their activities? What kind of risk management system? What kind of internal control systems? What kind of restructuring do they need to do within the banks? Things like that. That has been missing so far.
Can you give us a time frame, how long it takes to form those two things, the AMC and then the holding company around the banks?
Well, when we talk to the consultants about setting up an AMC, they say it might take up to 3 to 4 months. When I talk to my colleagues here in Iceland, they are more optimistic. They say that given that things can be done very quickly if there is a will, they expect it can be done within 2 months.
Okay. You have said that you will not talk about the reasons of the big collapse and all that. But you said today that it is kind of obvious who to blame.
Yeah, I said that I'm not going to talk about what caused the crisis, and I'm not going to talk about who to blame, because there are committees being set up that will do that job. I want to be forward-looking, I don't want to be backward-looking. But I also said that, to me, it's absolutely clear that all the commercial decisions in a bank were done by the bank managers and the boards. And there's no way they can walk away from that responsibility. That's what I've said.
Now, what about the problems of households? Do you consider that totally out of or beyond the mandate of the committee?
It's a bit beyond the mandate of the committee. So we have actually not looked into it. But of course, nothing prevents us from doing it in the future. But we have been focusing on what to us have been the key issues in the start. How to get the banking system up and running, and how to support the corporate sector. To us, that has been the two most urgent issues to address.
How long is the committee going to be working? How long are you going to be here?
Well, who knows? I have a contract with the government for a year. I don't think I am needed for a year. Once the work gets started and progress are being made, then I think I can leave it to the Icelanders themselves to complete the exercise.
Are you optimistic? I mean, you have a lot of experience of financial crisis and directing, in bank crisis. When will the Icelandic economy start to pick up again at the best?
It could actually go pretty fast because once the recovery starts, it normally goes much faster than you expect. And I'm absolutely convinced that it will happen here in Iceland too. It's a fairly small economy, it's a small country, it's very flexible, it can easily adjust to a new environment, which is very positive when you are trying to get the economy going again. So I don't want to predict a date, but I am very convinced that it's going to happen pretty soon, and you will see the result. But, and it's a big but, there has to be action.
There has to be action, and it might be a bit connected to the global crisis as well.
That's true too. That's true too. But if no action is taken to get the banks up and running, and how to get the economy also back in shape, then of course the recovery will take longer.
Now, if the government is going to follow your advice, then you say this is going to happen pretty fast. You're sure that this is the right action to take?
Yes, I am.
Now, your name has been mentioned as the next governor of the central bank. Are you going to apply?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I worked for the central bank until the late 1980s, when I moved on to the supervisory agency. No, I'm not a governor. Definitely not.
Tack för att prata med oss, Mats Josefsson, och lycka till på jobbet.
Thank you.